Hey guys, Kaliym Islam, the Training Pro here, and today I'm here with Coach Bill, who's an expert in instructional design and business analysis. Today we're going to talk about how do you apply Agile in training organizations. So Bill, thanks for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, so Bill, talk to us. Prior to Agile, can you talk about what the approach your team was using in terms of developing training programs?
We had a lot of individual projects that were going on that were really connected. We had a lot of resources overlapping, and there was some contention issues with resources and scheduling, and there was always slippage because it wasn't really organized in a way that needed to be organized.
Okay, all right. So let's talk through. So what made you decide to go ahead and use Agile? Why did your organization decide to go ahead and start using Agile as opposed to waterfall approaches, ADDIES as an example?
The problem with the waterfall approach is that it added a lot of time for projects to get done. We realized what we needed to do is to make the best use of our resources because we had an extremely large amount of work we needed to get done, but we had a very limited amount of resources that we could do so.
Okay, so what's changed as a result of Agile?
What we did is we stopped and we took a breath and we said, let's take a look at our total inventory of what it is that we need to get done. What is all the mission our mission to support the organization, and what does that entire inventory look like? And we took a look at our resources and the work that needs to be done, the type of work that needs to be done, and we organized them into domains that would be able to work on the different product backlogs. The key thing is determining the priority of all of those items in the backlog. Okay, so now you just use a term that probably the folks that are looking at this video have no idea what that term is. So let's start from the beginning. So if you're going to use Agile, can you take us through the steps in the process? What's the first thing that you do? The first thing that you want to do is you want to interview your customers and understand what's high value to them. Okay. What it is that's important to them, and ask them, out of all the things that you're going to do for them that they need done, what is the most valuable? Okay, all right. You break those parts out, and then you rank them. Okay. Now there's an Agile term that's used for that. Can you sort of share with the audience what that is? The prioritization? Yeah. So you're creating a product? Backlog. Okay. Product backlog. Product backlog. Okay. So essentially what you're saying, if I'm correct, is a sort of a product backlog is a prioritized list of the items that you need to do for your customers, and it's prioritized by how valuable those items are. Is that? That's right. The biggest value that's going to provide to them or their customers, yes. Okay. So you guys sort of got together. You identified what you needed to do for your customers, and you might put the highest value items on the top. Those are the first ones you want to work on. And what was next? What we do is we take a look at the type of work that needs to be done. If we have the content, if we have all the materials and resources we need to do that task, that would be the task that's scheduled to be done first. So what we do is we work in these Scrum sprints. Whoa. Scrum sprints. I mean, what the hell is a Scrum sprint? What we do is we take our time, a time box, and we'll call it a sprint. We'll say we work in 2-week sprints, and we'll say that within these 2 weeks, what are we going to be able to get done in the product backlog? Okay. And the Scrum part is that we meet every day. We have our first day of the sprint is a sprint planning meeting, and then immediately after that, the next day we have a Scrum. And the Scrum is where all the members of the team get together. We talk about what we said we plan on doing, what we got done, any impediments or issues that we had. Okay, so we have this time box period, and in your organization it's 2 weeks, and that's called a sprint. Yes. And during the sprint, you meet every day to do a Scrum. That's right. And how long are these Scrums? It's 15-minute stand-up Scrum. Stand-up Scrum, 15 minutes? Yep. So in 15 minutes you're able to discuss everything you need to discuss about what's happening with the projects? We talk about the progress that those individuals make on the tasks that they're assigned to. Okay. So we don't get into the whole everything about the project. We just talk about what it is that we said we're going to do. Are we on target? Are we on schedule? Yep. Okay. All right. So we have this product backlog. Then we have the sprint. Then we have the Scrum. Okay. So what happens at the end of the sprint? How do you know when the sprint's finished? Well, the sprint it's a 2-week sprint, so that Friday, the second Friday of the sprint, we get together and we do what's called a retrospective, and we talk about what it is we plan to do, what did we get done, what wasn't able to get done, and why. Okay, so if I could take this from the start. You start with a product backlog to identify what you need to do for your customers, and you put that in priority based on the highest value item. That's right. Okay, and then you identify what you can do during your sprint, which in your organization is a 2-week
period.
That's right.
Okay? And each day during the sprint, you have a scrum where you look at what was done today, what do you plan on doing tomorrow, and is there anything that will prevent you from moving forward?
That's right.
Now, at the end of the sprint, you take a look at what did you complete, and you sort of have a retrospective, or I think what in project management would be called a post-mortem around, you know, hey, how do we do things better, what went wrong, and what could we do better?
Right, that's correct.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Wow, that's fantastic. So if you had to tell the audience, what's the difference in terms of the organization, how it was performing pre-Agile versus post-Agile? What's been your experience?
There's a lot more, all the team members, it's the team that decides what it is that they're going to do. They agree as a team what's going to be done. How long it really should be, there's a lot of peer correction and how long something should take. And if there's something where one person will say, it's going to take me 20 hours to do this, and someone else will say, I do this in 5 hours, the team will recognize, let's shift this around. What happens is you have a lot of highly empowered employees that make the decisions on what they're going to do.
Whoa, hold on, Bill. Your boss doesn't tell you what to do?
We don't have bosses in Agile.
There's no bosses in Agile. No bosses.
No, it's the team.
The team decides.
That's right.
So you guys can decide, okay, on project A we need to use one process, and then on project B you may use a totally different process.
That's correct.
And it comes from the team, not your boss, not your manager.
Our boss is our customer.
Your boss is your customer. Okay. So like how I mean that's a different way of working, right?
Yes. It's a much better way of working.
It's a better way of working.
Yes.
So what makes it better?
There's a lot of ownership when the team members own the task. They decide how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and it makes for a lot more freedom, a lot more discretion over their work. The second thing that's really valuable is that if a team member realizes that a task is going to be done, they need some kind of input that they're not going to get because the customer's out, they get to raise that to the team and say, listen, my capacity is now grown. This 10 hours I was going to spend working on here, I now have 10, I could do something else. And they'll bring up the next thing out of the backlog to work on.
So you're able to make adjustments.
Yeah, and that's right. That's the whole point of Agile, is to be an Agile team. Priority shift from customers. If something else comes in, what you'll do is you'll say, we have a much higher priority item that comes in. The lowest priority one, we go to the customer and say, listen, we may have to delay this.
Okay.
The biggest benefit, and I think why employees are very happy with it, is it because they're much more productive.
Okay.
They're able to show their value to say that we delivered these high value items to our customers.
Wow, wow. Now what would you say to a training organization or a training manager or a training team that said, hey listen, we want to use Agile, but we heard Agile was only for IT type of environments. What would you say to them?
I'm not sure if there are any training organizations right now that aren't heavily using technology, and you really need to think of yourself. I think they sell themselves short if they don't think of themselves as a technology. They're a learning technology organization.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay, Bill, we want to thank you for helping us out and for having this conversation and for teaching our audience how to use Agile for training organizations. So, if folks wanted to get in touch with you in terms of your business analysis expertise and your structural design expertise, where would they go?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm one of the Bill Corrigans that are out there. You could also go to billcorrigan.com and you find all the links to where I am out on the web. You'll be able to get in touch with me from Twitter, Facebook, or right from the website.
Okay. Guys, this is Kaliym Islam, the Training Pro. We've been here with Coach Bill, and check him out on billcorrigan.com.
Thanks.
See you next time.